In this chapter, Dr. S asks us to examine the way we use our online connections and whether it has an effect on our in-person relationships. Since Tuesday, I have tried to connect with people face to face instead of using my phone to get away from awkward social interactions. And I've noticed that I usually show up a few minutes before class, and that's when I take out my phone the most. And I use it to check Twitter, Instagram, and WhatsApp. On Twitter, I mostly follow pop culture icons and like news companies like E! News and TMZ. And I also follow some friends that I'm like no longer really in touch with, face to face. And then on Instagram, I follow close friends and family, and WhatsApp, I have it to communicate with my parents back home and international friends. And so whenever I go to WhatsApp, it's usually to check on like my parents and my family and to see if like anybody has any updates. And I noticed that when I choose to talk to people instead of check my phone, that kind of shifts my whole day because it has an effect on the situation that I'm in, and then that like just like has a domino effect on the rest of my day. And so an example of this would be that on Saturday I went on a road trip with girls that have been in my class for like 4 months now, and I've never had a conversation with them. And through like the road trip and through actually communing with them, I like learned a lot about them, and the 3 hours that I spent with them, I just made two new friends that I would not have been able to make in a different situation. But on the other hand, I did realize that I did miss out a lot through not checking up on the Daily Me. One of my shows got cancelled, and E! News tweeted about it. My parents had gone to bed by the time that I like checked my phone the next time, just because I was having conversations and didn't check my phone. And like one of my friends got engaged, and she posted pictures on Instagram, and I just wasn't able to like react to it at the time, just because I like chose not to pick up my phone and check these things. And my daily dose of like different updates from like across the world, I guess, and the Daily Me was really interrupted. And so I missed out on a lot of different information. And although I did make two like new friends, I guess, I wasn't able to kind of keep up with the rest of my life. And the main reason I found that why I did not pick up my phone, while like I did get different notifications when I was in the car, but I didn't pick up my phone because I just didn't want to be rude to the girls that I was in the car. I just didn't want them to think that I wasn't interested in having a conversation with them. I didn't want them to think that I wasn't interested in what they were saying if we were having a conversation. And I just wouldn't want, if I was in their shoes, I just would not have wanted them to pick up their phone, and nobody was using their phone when we were in the car. And so that was just like really interesting, is that because I didn't want to offend anyone, I realized that, I just realized that when I do pick up my phone, it's very offensive to the people that I'm with. And I did realize that the most times that I pick up my phone is when I'm at lunch or like I'm standing in line and I'm just like not communicating with anyone, and there isn't really anyone to communicate with. That's when I pull up Twitter or Instagram. And I rarely ever check these things when I'm alone at home or when I'm doing something that like I really enjoy, like watching a movie, or something like that. And I've also found that it's honestly much easier for me to communicate with people online, and it's not just because I'm like socially awkward, but because I've made the effort to keep in touch with people through social media. So like a lot of the friends that I have that are like from high school and now they're in the States studying, the only way that I keep in touch with them is through seeing their posts on Instagram or seeing things that they tweet about, and that way I just know what's like going on in their life without having a conversation with them. At this point, I really don't think that I have a problem with social media or the way that I use it. I'm concerned, because I don't know that most of the people are aware when they use their social media. Like, social media has become such a large part of our lives, but we don't know how, and we don't know when it is in effect. And if I become self-conscious and realize that, okay, I don't want to do this, instead of, standing around and not communicating with people, I'm gonna make the effort to say hi to the person next to me, or make the effort to be more attentive to my situation. That kind of messes up my schedule, just because I am not able, if I don't check my phone and if I don't check social media at the times when I've accustomed myself to checking, I get disconnected from the outside world. While I connect with people face to face, I feel like I become disconnected from my family back home, or my friends, or celebs and what they're doing, or what new clothing line is out, or just like all these things that I've made myself get used to, and I've given them a special time of day to check up on the daily me. And I think that's my biggest concern at this point.